Pete Buttigieg is an interesting character. We've kind of stopped talking about him because it's more fun to make fun of Joe Biden not knowing which state he's in. It's more fun to talk about Bernie Sanders, who's leading, Mike Bloomberg, who's rising. But Pete Buttigieg is currently the delegate leader. And even if he's not number one, he's 2 or 3 in every single poll. And I've never gotten the Buttigieg thing. I just find him to be extremely unappealing. But I'm a Republican and he's a commie, so that would make sense. Either way, he goes on last night and says something about Donald Trump that I find to be really interesting. And it's something that Democrats have echoed for 3 years, that the tiny portion of anti-Trump Republicans have echoed for 3 years. Listen to what he says real quick here, and I'll address it.
The idea of the likes of Rush Limbaugh or Donald Trump lecturing anybody on family values? I mean, I'm sorry, but one thing about my marriage is it's never involved me having to send hush money to a porn star after cheating on my spouse with him or her. So, they want to debate family values? Let's debate family values. I'm ready.
The funny thing about this and what people do not seem to understand is everybody on the right who voted for Donald Trump's hardcore evangelical base who voted for Donald Trump, they know about the porn star thing. They know about Donald Trump's personal life. They understand that he's not the second coming of Christ. But they've given themselves no ability to take away any of those evangelical voters with their positions on things. I believe for a fact that evangelical voters would consider even voting for Pete Buttigieg. I don't think the gay thing would bother too many of them. Even if it would, though, his abortion stance would. When the Democrat Party as a whole, universally now, when they have decided that third trimester abortions are just fine, that a baby even born alive can be denied medical protections, we have multiple national Democrats on tape saying things like that, you've eliminated any chance you're going to get any kind of a percentage of the evangelical voters. They would turn around and vote for the Antichrist himself before they voted for somebody who takes these positions. And so what bothers me is it's not about the family values thing. I shouldn't say bothers me, but what I find funny is they don't realize it's not about the family values thing. It's not about the porn star thing. It's about the fact you believe in killing kids. That, understandably, is kind of a hang-up for people. That bothers people. It's not about personally what politicians do. It's about the politicians they push. And shouldn't that be the way it is? I mean, look, other than me, everyone has flaws. Pete Buttigieg has some flaws. Speaking appropriate Spanish seems to be one of them.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the chance to join you. Gracias por invitarnos para hablar this evening. And I bring greetings from South Bend. Not quite sleeping enough, but delighted to be with you.
You know what? I know this may shock you, but I was a very bad student, and I had to take Spanish a couple times in high school. When I was attempting my, year-end tests where I had to speak a sentence of Spanish, it sounded better than that just did right there. And it's this weird thing Democrats have to do. We're going to play you an even cringier one than that here in the next segment. But it's this weird thing where they have to pick these very specific, very separate groups, and they pander just towards them. And they just look terrible. They look terrible doing it every time. Nobody can just be who they are. You have to get up there and kind of stumble through Spanglish on the stage. It's hilarious. All right. You thought you've seen the worst campaign cringe ever? Let me tell you what, people. You are mistaken. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.